It seems that the idea for the need of a common candidate has sprung back to life again. A few people have started to make some noise over this. Attempts are being made to give credence to the common candidate concept by certain elements. People who aspire to be the common candidate have started running a little faster than last week. As such, Ratey Raala wanted to tell this story today for the sake of the erudite gentlemen who are yearning for a common candidate. If anyone really thinks that the common candidate concept will be of great value by tomorrow, it is nothing but an illusion. Ratey Raala is of the view that one should not run around like headless chickens and waste fuel because the probability of such a thing transpiring is quite low. You may remember that Ratey Raala kept telling the opposition to work with a common national consensus. Not just Ratey Raala, Kadu Jayasuriya's National Movement for Social Justice also called for it. Patali's 43rd Brigade also said it on many occasions, as well as SLFP leader Maithripala Sirisena. But for this opposition, such stories are akin to playing tunes to deaf elephants, especially for the SJB and JVP, whose leaders were extremely confident of becoming the future head of state. By shunning the program which called for a common national framework, the opposition destroyed the common candidate concept before it reached an embryonic stage. Because of that, no one can just create a space for a common candidate. It should entail the necessary background and potential for it to come to fruition. You know, Maithripala was the common candidate in 2015. How did it really happen? If you can analyze it, this problem can also be resolved. Do you think that it happened simply due to a thought that crossed in the minds of Venerable Sobhita Thera or former President Chandrika? Such a thought could have arisen in their minds. But for that thought to occur, the society at large should also create a space for it. Do you recall what Mahinda Rajapaksa, who came to power in 2005, did with the powers vested with an executive presidency? However, Mahinda has to be given his dues pertaining to the end of the civil war. Ratey Raala will not hesitate for a moment to give it. At the same time, Mahinda engaged in many acts which can be categorized as treason by using the war victory, built an empire centered around his family. Ratey Raala is not afraid to say that. He led an extremely corrupt regime full of political cronies and lords of commissions. Gross violations of human rights occurred. By the end of his tenure as president, the entire country was fed up with not only Mahinda, but the entire Rajapaksa clan. Mahinda committed all these acts under the cover of the executive presidency. He moved to further strengthen executive powers by spewing blatant lies. As a result, the necessary background was created in the society to view Mahinda as the common enemy. If you think about it, people opposed the executive presidential system by opposing Mahinda. There has been an opposition in this country since the day the executive presidency was introduced by J.R. Jayawardena. The slogan that the executive presidency should be abolished was embedded in all spheres of the society. Rohana Vijayveera was the first to present the common candidate concept, which would actually abolish the executive presidency. It was in that sense that he talked to former Prime Minister Sirimavo to put a common candidate against JR in the 1982 presidential election. That was the first time that such a proposal was introduced, but Vijayveera could not succeed in his endeavor. In 2015, however, Venerable Madhulave Sobhita Thera made it a reality. The society at that time had contained the necessary background as people were against the executive presidency. The culture of politics practiced by the Rajapaksa clan was also instrumental. Sobhita Thera had the capacity to capitalize on this public sentiment against the Rajapaksas. In fact, if there was no such opposition in the society, not even the Buddha, let alone Sobhita Thera, could have made the common candidate concept a reality. But what is the situation today? Does the opposition have any common slogans they could really rally around? Where are the common slogans in the hands of the opposition? It was Anura's party that led the fight to abolish the executive presidency. Hasn't he dropped the call to abolish the executive presidency? Sajith earlier called to abolish the executive presidency but later abandoned it abruptly. Didn't they act like clowns by saying we will do this and that when they became president? Now both are tired by running around to become an executive president. Both have accepted that the wave of popularity they once had in abundance is now over. This is evident of them accepting defeat. According to the dogfight between the two, can one of them be the common candidate? This is what Ratey Raala has to ask from gentlemen in the opposition benches who are aspiring to become the common candidate at the next election. Where is the common slogan to be a common candidate? In that case, the only slogan they can rally around will be against Ranil. However, protesting against Ranil cannot be taken as a common slogan now. There is a reason for that too. Due to the current situation prevailing in the country, only Ranil is left with the room for a role of the common candidate. Ranil is not promoting a party today. Ranil is showing that he is neither the president of the SLPP nor the president of the UNP. Ranil is playing the role of a non-partisan president. Ranil's proposal is to form an all-party government. The real slogan of the country now is to rebuild the country. At this moment of time, it is in Ranil's hands. Ranil has a strategic program to present to the country. Ranil has the necessary mechanism to implement it. Ranil is moving forward on that path. Ratey Raala do not know whether Ranil is doing these things in good faith or not. Ratey Raala cannot give a guarantee in this regard. Ranil has to develop the concept of a common candidate to a non-partisan common candidate. If Ranil is successful, then the dreams of all other lawmakers who aspire to be the common candidate will be shattered. If that were to happen, there is a distinct possibility that the candidate who takes on Ranil will be branded in society as one who is not on the side of the public. Okay, goodbye for now. Jai Sri. Sincerely, Ratey Raala.